of all the things it could do, it's not going to blow away. It won't go in. Hello everyone, welcome back to another allotment vlog on this glorious sunny April day. It's beautiful weather. It was the hottest day of the year yesterday. Slightly less hot today, but still gorgeous weather. If you don't know, my name's Emma. This is my allotment. This is my shed. I'm just stood in the shed because it's a bit shady. And today is a very exciting day. Today is Project Polytunnel Day. So, I've bought a polytunnel. It's not one of the cheaps, but it's not one of the expensives. It's in the middle, so it needs a lot of reinforcing. So that's part of the issue of what we're going to do today. I've got Sam here, my fiance, and my stepdad, just to help. And the polytunnel is going on the new plot. I will show you in a moment. And there's been a spot reserved for it. Been under weed fabric to try and suppress some of the weeds in the grass because it was just grass that most of that plot. So we've suppressed some of the weeds, some of the grass, and now the polytunnel is going up. We've had to go to the DIY shop today to get loads of wood to support it, but I'll take you through sort of the plan and we'll see how far we get today. It's very late in the day. We went to a barbecue last night and I drank too many wines and we're starting a bit late, but we're all right, we're here now. So while the boys are mostly doing that, I am going to faff about on the allotment, but it's mostly going to be a polytunnel vlog with some bits of other stuff in, but mostly a polytunnel vlog. So let me show you what's going on. So say hi, Paul. You're on the internet.
Hello.
So that corner is where the polytunnel's going, and we're going to sort of mirror Mr. Man's wonderful polytunnel contraption there. His is absolutely putting ours to shame, but we're doing our best with what we've got. We've not got that skill of building. So it's going in that corner, the door's going to face that way. I hope that's fine. I don't know, we'll figure it out. The polytunnel's in that box. Wood is there. So it's 2 by 3 metres, so it's only a little one. It's only a little one. But to be fair, we've not really got room for a big one, and I didn't really want a big one.
Ignore the good one in the background.
Yeah, I said that one's putting ours to shame, but we're trying our best. And yeah, so we've got, basically, I'll try and talk through what we're going to do. So we're going to do a wooden frame with the wood. And then we're going to put the metal polytunnel on atop the wooden frame, screw it into the wooden frame so it's slightly raised. And then we're going to put the cover on, staple the cover to the wood, and then put an extra layer of wood on the outside, screw that in so the cover is like sandwiched in between, and then we've also got some wood to do 4 stakes in each corner into the ground. That's the plan.
That's in theory.
In theory. We'll see how we go. I've tried to communicate to Sam what's in my brain.
We have every faith in you.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll figure it out with what we've got. But today is Polytunnel Day. So hopefully you can see the vision, the vibe. So we've done the wooden frame, stakes into the corners. We're just making the door frame at the moment. This is where the door's going to go. And yeah, so we're going to secure this to the bottom somehow, maybe with cable ties, we're not sure. But yeah, it shouldn't go anywhere, hopefully. It's definitely not going to blow away. Of all the things it could do, it's not going to blow away. But yeah, that's how we've secured it. You could, the instruction did say you could dig it into the ground, but I just never trust that. So this is how we've done it, and it makes it a bit more secure anyway. So yes, we'll carry on and update you once we've got to another stage. Half-finished polytunnel. We'll have to come back and put the cover on, but we'll obviously bring you when we do that. Be this week at some point, because we're running out of daylight and we're running out of energy. So
I mean, I lost my patience about 3 hours ago.
But there we go. That's it. That's the size of it, and I do think it is the right size. I think any bigger would have swamped. And I've got a little bit of room this side to put a long thin bed in, which I will do, and then put wood chip next to the thing, and we'll wood chip around it and everything. It's a bit annoying because the door opens, oh, that's a bit stiff, this way, which is how do you shut? It's just stiff. I can't, it won't go in. There we go. Well, anyway. But yeah, this is the polytunnel. We'll put the cover on it and come back. We're back for round 2. Slightly less glam, slightly less in a good mood, because it's after work on a Monday.
And we're both a bit poorly.
So, might be tense, we'll figure it out. Anyway, we've come back, we've acquired some more materials. We've got some industrial zip ties to tie the frame on, because we just put normal zip ties on just to keep it down while we weren't here. But we've got some big boys. And then I also got, if I can find them.
I did nothing wrong then.
See, we've already had an argument because I couldn't find these, and I blamed Sam, even though Sam didn't order them or put them in the bag to bring them. I've just bought some little bracket things that we're gonna, I'll show you what we're gonna do with them, but we're gonna screw them for the middle poles and put zip ties around them, just so that the middle poles aren't hanging loose. So that is step 1, is to finish securing the frame down. And then step 2, we've got to put some heat tape on to stop the cover melting on where it rubs against the poles in the sun. So we'll do step 1 and 2 first, and then we'll get to putting the cover on. It's also windy, which is just great, isn't it? It's just absolutely wonderful. Why did we do that? I don't know. Bad day to come.
What?
Tell me the problem with this drill. No battery. Why is that? Because I put the battery on charge.
The best it is, you probably don't even need to.
That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. Am I going to have to go back and get it?
It's either that, or you staple it tonight, and then...
What, and drill it another day?
Yeah.
Ah!
On the positive side, your nails are holding up well.
Yeah, my nails have done really well, haven't they, considering all the crap I've been doing.
Who's been up big protein shakes? Old boy next door in shed.
John, he's been bulking up.
If anybody's seen John, John is not bulking.
John's an 80-year-old man that's just recently had a hip replacement.
Maybe that's why he's doing it. Maybe he's got to bulk up. Maybe he's been told. Doctor's gone.
Oh, God. So the executive decision is I don't want to go home and fetch the drill battery right now. So we can't put the brackets on, but we're going to leave a little gap where we staple the thingy down, polytunnel sheet down, so we can do the brackets afterwards. Hopefully that'll work. We're still going to do the hotspot tape, and we're still going to put the cover on and staple it down. I'm hoping it will still be fine. So we'll have bloody 3 parts to this fucking saga. Polytunnel, ooh, it's not secure at all. It would blow away immediately if we left it like this. So we're just discussing the best method for stapling to the wood. Oh, you're inside my new polytunnel, look at that. Take my hood off in here. It's going to be filled with tomatoes in no time. So Sam suggested actually putting the cover, because we've dug out a trench for it, so putting the cover underneath the wood and stapling it on the inside, and I think that's a good idea. And then we can backfill the mud. Maybe not today, and we might have to we can probably backfill the inside bits, but if we're going to screw on some wood for the outside bits, we'll see how far we get, but we definitely need to staple it on the inside to begin with.
You need to do that bit anyway, so.
But we're just figuring out we've got to make sure one side's tight while we do the other one, so it can be as tight as possible type thing. So right, this is the final side. This is where the tension matters. Do you know how I think we do best? When we're both equally as pissed off with the situation as each other, and we put our heads down and just get it done so it's done. That's our peak performance. When we both want to go home for tea. So we just get on with the job.
Finally, fish and chips.
Oh, stop it! Why do we have to have a fish and chip shop on the way back?
I don't know. I'm finding the urge. I'm trying to find the urge.
It's a good fish and chip shop as well. It's won awards. And it's a drive-through. Honestly.
Ah!
Okay, and then we'll work our way, this way? polytunnel.
Is that the new version of him?
Yeah. I'm in my polytunnel. Can you imagine? Hi, my name's Emma. Welcome to my allotment. This is my polytunnel. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I think we've done a good job with making a cheapish polytunnel better. I'm just saying, I think we're going to get some long wooden battens, a bit like what we've put up here, to go from end frame to end frame, and attach those on, because that will add a bit of structure to this side, and that's where it's got the least tension here. So that'll add a bit of structure there, and then also it'll act as a pole for me to attach my twine on for my tomatoes and cucumbers to grow up. I think it's the right size. I was worried it'd feel quite small. It's only 2 by 3 metres, but I think it's the right size for us. It's bigger than the greenhouse, and we managed to grow all our tomatoes and chilies and aubergines in there. So it'll just be for cucumbers, tomatoes, melons, because the chilies and aubergines we're going to do in the greenhouse again. Mainly for tomatoes, really. And then obviously over winter, it's going to be invaluable for everything else. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's good. I think we might get fish and chips on the way home it's like a reward. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll show you it from the outside as well. There's the Polytunnel in all its glory next to Mr. Man's tunnel. Which is obviously slightly more impressive, but we ain't got those DIY skills, and he'll have probably spent about £500 on timber, so we ain't got the money. I think it looks good. I think we'll put I'll put a little like half-length path, half-width path right next to it, so I can put wood chip right next to it, and then I'll have this as another flower bed for my annuals. Sam's just digging in the mud around it. That's the back. I'll just put another weed membrane here and just wood chip around it. Structures have to be 1 metre away from your paths and your neighbours, so that's why we've left quite a big gap around the back. But I could always put like a water butt or something around here, I suppose, in the future, do a sort of water system. This polytunnel has got a rainwater collection feature, which is this basically folds up into a gutter. So I might experiment with that, but not to begin with. No, the other side's a window. That's not a window.
Was it?
No. But yeah, as you can see, this is like where the tension is the least. So if we put a baton in there, that'll help that out. But I'm pretty pleased with the tension on it. I really hope it doesn't go anywhere. I really hope it doesn't go anywhere. I'll be so sad if this blows away. Surely not. Surely not. Oh, and it's got a window this side as well. If it lasts up, I'll tell you where I got it from. But I'm not going to tell you where I got it from until I know that it's not rubbish. So I don't want to advertise them if they're rubbish. So yes, that's the polytunnel. I'm very pleased. So I'm in the polytunnel. I've realised filming the video, we didn't really give a proper conclusion to it, and I feel like it'd be more informative to talk you through everything we've done, because it's finally finished now. Finished, apart from having stuff planted in it and sorting the ground out, but the polytunnel structure is finished. And I've also forgotten the camera card, so it's on my phone, but hopefully I can give you a good enough overview as to the amendments we've made to cheapy polytunnel to try and make sure it doesn't blow away or cave in on itself. So the main 2 things we considered with the polytunnel was, we don't want it to blow away, because that's very common, as in the cover blows off or it takes off as a kite. We didn't want that to happen. Number 2 is we didn't want the metal to cave in on itself. Because this is a cheaper polytunnel, the metal isn't quite as strong. Now, I didn't get one of the cheapy out sunny 50 quid bargain wonders where the metal is literally just, you could bend it in half. This is 25mm galvanised steel tubes, but even so, the joints are not particularly wonderful, and strong enough wind it could still bend it on itself. So we've reinforced it as if it was a cheap polytunnel. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to show you everything that we've done a bit more in depth, as a sort of more of a helpful how-to rather than just a funny allotment video. So first of all, the base. So as you can see, we've dug stakes in. So these are about halfway in the ground. They're about the same in the ground again, and they've been backfilled with mud. And then to that, we've drilled in a wooden frame with, these are roofing battens, I think. Pretty strong, pretty thick, pretty good quality roofing battens. Now, I'm not sure on the treatedness of the wood, so long term, I think the wood would probably rot, but short term, 4-ish years should be okay, and then you just have to redo the frame again. So, frame all the way around the outside. This is all perfectly level. Our ground wasn't level, but this is level because they did it with a spirit level. So it meant that this side is like flat to the ground, but this side we had to dig in. But that's worked out quite well because now this piece of wood is in a trench. Obviously you can see the trench here because we ran out of mud, so we're going to fill it with compost and stuff. But yes, you can see this is sitting in a trench. I'll go and show you the outside in a minute. So we've got 4 posts, wooden frame, and then we've used these industrial cable ties to attach the metal frame to the wooden posts. As you can see, I think that's worked out okay. It's pretty secure, and these can hold like 120 kilograms each or something, so that's very secure, and we've done plenty around the edges. And we've also cable tied to the wooden stakes. Now we've used ties and not drilled into the metal because we didn't want to compromise the structure of the metal. We didn't want to start messing with the metal. I feel like they're strongest when they're whole tubes. So that's why we've used cable ties, but they are industrial cable ties and they are pretty chunky.
Hi. Hello from the other side.
So yeah, they're pretty strong cable ties. And if we find that they're loosening, we'll get some even stronger ones, but they feel really strong, to be honest. So that is the base. And then these are just what came with the polytunnel to attach the cover. However, I do not believe in these. I do not think that stitching is going to hold. So, and also as it gets damp and stuff in here, these will just rot off. I know they will. So what we've done is we've pulled the cover. We didn't put these on to begin with. We pulled the cover really tight as best we could, and we have staple gunned it. So you can see, we could probably do with putting more staples in here, to be honest. But we've stapled it to the wood, and this is underneath as well. So it's gone round, been pulled really tight, and then stapled to the wood all the way along. So that is holding the cover way tighter than just these little Velcro things are, because these are loosening just in one day, but these are keeping it really nice and tight, and the tension is really good. I think it's as good as we could make it, but yeah, the tension's pretty good. So that was step 2, was adding the cover. And then because of the way this polytunnel is, these metal down posts are supposed to be dug into the ground. So you can see that the end posts are lower than this post because it's all meant to be dug into the ground, which meant that these were like free moving on the wood. So what we've done is we've just drilled a little bracket into the wood and zip tied it on, so that means these can't move about, and just keeps them nice and secure. So that's keeping those secure. And then we have added extra reinforcements. Hello. Snuck in. So we've added this post along the back to stop the two ends like bowing into each other, because the wind comes from this way, the wind comes down here. So this just stops these two metal posts caving in on each other and provides a bit of structure to this back wall. And then on here, again, we've used the same sort of, I think these are like roofing battens. And, oh, hello fly, excuse me, I'm filming a video. Drilled holes and zip tied them to the frame. We've just put a little bit of the hotspot tape on the ends of the doors so the raw wood edge isn't rubbing against the cover. And again, that sits just on top of there, and it all feels really sturdy on there. And then in the middle, we've done, again, zip ties underneath these bars.
Basically what we're saying is we're holding this entire thing together with zip ties.
We are holding this entire thing together with zip ties, yeah. And they are crisscrossed, so that's nice and strong. So that will hopefully stop this bend, this joint caving in, because the most likely thing that would happen is the wind will come from this side, this joint will try and fail, but because this wood's there, hopefully it shouldn't, in theory. And this side's just exactly the same, but we couldn't put, these have already got like extra supports in because of the door, so we've not put anything there. And then Sam's genius idea, we were already going to put batons across here just to stop this plastic coming in and like the weight of the wind on the plastic bowing the posts in here, because again that's where they'll fail. So we're already going to put batons, but Sam in his genius bought some of these little hooks so I can string my tomatoes up. Well done, Sam, genius idea. So again we've done the exact same thing with industrial zip tied them to each side, and then in the middle we've just got a strip of wood just to help protect this joint a bit. This isn't quite as strong, but
I could probably break that with your hands quite easily.
Again, it's just a little bit of help to stop them, to have something for the metal to push against that's stronger than the metal, is what I think we're trying to do. So we've got those on both sides. Hopefully the wind isn't stopping you hearing me, but you can see we've backfilled this trench, or Sam has backfilled the trench, so that the cover is actually being kept down, not just by the staples on the inside, but by the mud on the outside. So that is adding even more stability to it, and stopping the cover from, stopping air getting under the cover so it turns into a kite. The only thing is that this section is not as tight as we would like, but that's because we couldn't make it horizontally tighter, because we could only use the Velcro on the door as like a pull point, and that's not as tight as we would like. But we've got that wooden batten up there stopping it caving in too much. But yeah, it's just we couldn't get enough like horizontal tightness because we couldn't do anything with this bit. And that's the only like annoying thing about it. But overall, I think it's worked out quite well. On this side we have a window that we could pull up if we wanted ventilation, but there's nothing in it at the moment, so there's no point. But yeah, we're going to put wood chip down here and make it all nice, and we'll sort out the entranceway. It's a bit of a state, but that's the outside. The door is a proper door. It's not one of the zippy doors, even though it looks like a zippy polytunnel. It's a proper door with a lock. So I was going to think about getting some Velcro, and sticking that on there. Sam's saying that that's a proper door, which yes, it is a proper door, but we're not that DIY savvy. So yeah, I'm going to put some Velcro down there just so that when the door is shut, this keeps it nice and tight. So yeah, that's the outside.
You can sense how windy it is today.
We've done this on a windy day, so we're stress testing it.
We even pushed this up on a windy day for whatever reason.
And when I first came here today, it was creaking so much, like the metal was creaking, and it was making me cringe how creaky it was. But since we've put the wood in, it's not creaking nearly half as much, which makes me feel like we've done something right. So overall, I hope we've stopped it blowing away and we've stopped it caving in on itself. I don't know how long the plastic will last. You can buy replacement covers, which would probably be the least painful thing to do, but hopefully the structure will stay for as long as we need it to. And that's how we've reinforced the polytunnel. I hope this was a useful segment to talking through everything we did, because I didn't really talk through it the other days. So anyway, I'm going to pass you back to previous Emma to do a rambly outro of some sort. And yeah. The only things I've got left to do is to put some brackets on the inside, but that's really boring and it's not like essential to the whole build, so I'll come and do that when I'm next here and I remember the drill battery. But other than that, we'll sign off from the discount polytunnel build. How do you feel about it? Talking to my chest.
I feel better than I did at bloody 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. I think it's because we can see it like working. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that was the hard bit though. So
Yeah.
I was a bit worried about putting this on today, to be honest, because of how windy it is today. It's not windy, but
It's not blowing a gale, but
it's enough to be annoying.
yeah. But it was alright.
Yeah.
You excited for tomatoes? How many sun golds do you think we can fit in there? We just become a sun gold farm because they're our favourite little tomatoes.
There's all sorts of variety that they like.
We might get some beef steaks.
Yeah,
Oh,
some good
exciting. The possibilities.
The ones that I did cut up of them last year were very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, this is meant to be an outro. So we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. We'll do some actual gardening in the next one, or I will. And it'll not just be a construction build. But if you like the Polytunnel. If you
like construction build.
If you think we could have done it better, don't tell us, because it's too late now.
No, tell us. Tell us, because.
Or if you think we've done a good job. If you think
we could do.
If you think we've done a good job, tell us. And if there's something we can do without causing detriment, without ripping it all off and starting again, if it's constructive, let us know. And we'll see you in the next allotment vlog. Subscribe. I always link the full allotment playlist so you can see our full allotment journey if you're new from this video. So go watch it from the beginning if you do so wish to. Subscribe if you're not already. Like the video. Leave a little kite emoji when it inevitably blows away. And we'll see you next time.
Kite and a spade.
Bye.
Bye. What's going on?
That's in the outro.